everybody. It's your girl.
Turn right on North La Brea Avenue.
I can't be telling y'all where I am. I got my
Inform.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nikki St. Clair. Of course, I'm in these streets, but I definitely wanted to come to you all and talk to these women out here that say that they are virtuous. I was reading some of the excerpts of Proverbs 31, and it basically was saying that, a virtuous woman is going to seek wool and flax, and they don't have a problem with finding their hands to do the work. I will tell you guys, as my experience with being a black woman from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s to the 2010 to the 2020s, okay? I will say this, the tides have turned. I'm not going to sit up here and kid you not. When I was younger, it was a big deal to have a boyfriend with a car. And if you were spotted driving your man's car, everybody in the hood knew, oh, that's Rob's car. That's Rob's girl. Oh, he letting her drive her car? He letting her drive his car? Oh, that's for real. You know what I'm saying? Or even in school, back in the day, they used to say, oh, she wearing Terrence's jacket. Oh, they must really go together. Girl, guess what? I seen her wearing his jacket. It was a big deal. And even in my teens, I had a really good boyfriend that just saw about me, bought me flowers, got my hair done, bought me Air Maxes and team jackets, jewelry. And it was a big deal in the 90s when you got some jewelry. Your man would buy you jewelry. I had it with the nameplates. You know what I'm saying? It was saying Melvin with the hearts connected to Nikki. And I had a gold rope. I wore it around my neck. It was all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I actually belonged to someone, and he loved me so much that he would go out and take his hard-earned money and go to the swap meet and buy me a gold chain to solidify the fact that we are together. And he gifted me, and I was just used to, in the 90s, having a man that got my hair done, that bought me jewelry, that bought me tennis shoes. We went places, we went to the movies, we went to church, we were seen together, we held hands, we hugged up on the porch at night as we watched the traffic go by. We spent holidays together, even looked at the fireworks from the porch on Independence Day. And then somehow, I don't know if it was the music or what it was, but it was like in the 90s, it was all about being a player and having more than one woman. And then it went to having threesomes and enjoying your friends. And then they were talking about down low men, and it just kind of ripped our poor black love to shreds. It just became a really big challenge. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for coming in. And what I'm talking about right now is how black love has changed. In the beginning, men did for women, and then it was like be a player, and then the music changed, and then it was just kind of like men were pretty much not wanting to be in a commitment. And at first, women would fight over the men because I guess they didn't know how to be a player. They just lied to us both or whatever. But then after a while, men at first the men would commit to 2 women. Then it was like, I don't want a commitment at all. I'm just out here trying to have fun. Let's just see where it goes. Let's just go with the flow. Maybe I'll be interested later on if we just start dating. And that was pretty much code for like, let me get the draws and I might never ever commit to you. Then it was like, I don't want to commit to you, but I don't want you to date anybody else. I don't want you to see anybody else, or else you are a 304. But you don't want to commit to me though. But you don't want me to see nobody else. And if I do, I'm a tramp. I'm a lady of the streets. Okay? And then you had, okay, well, I'm going to commit to this one because I know she's most valuable and she's going to leave me. But I want to play on the side. So then you had the side chicks coming into play, where the side chicks played their role and the men, did what they did, and they had a schedule. And then you had the side chicks getting angry and tearing up and breaking up because in her mind she felt like, well, if I could break this up, he'll come to me. And the only thing that's keeping us from being together and him being committed completely to me is because he has a wife or a main chick. But soon after, when she did that, she found out that he never really wanted her. He just wanted her around. So, a lot of times women became broken, and at first it was like, okay, they were used to men doing for them. But then after a while, a lot of women just became accustomed to being disappointed, and they felt like, well, it's not going to get done if no one does it, so I have to do it for myself. And then once women started doing for themselves, and surprisingly were successful at doing for themselves, a lot of men, I won't say all men, but a lot of men became intimidated, and they felt like, well, what do you need me for? You got it all together. And then you had some men that are like, well, I want to move in. I had this one friend, right? She made so much money. And she said that the man would purposely spend the night knowing she had to go to work, and she would leave him in the apartment because she had to be at work on the yard at like 6 a.m. And she would come home and he would already be there, and then he would just like start cleaning up. He was like some sort of a DVD man where, he didn't really have no real job. And then he did it. This became an ongoing thing. And then before you knew it, bro just went and made him a key. At first it was like, here's the key, oh, babe, can you leave the key? I don't want to leave your house open. I'm going to lock up, because she had one of those bar doors where you had to have a key. And, I'll just give it to you, I'll meet you at the house. Well, this gentleman goes and makes him a key. And before you knew it, he moves in. And he pretty much forced his way into her life and then just started eating off of her. But it's her fault too, because she started like tricking on him. Then he starts bringing his kid around. She paying for barrettes, school clothes, party, everything. Like straight tricking. And he knew she had a good job with full on benefits and everything. And she was like, oh, you like this team? I'm going to buy you season passes. Oh, you want to come here and watch the game? She bought a 3D TV, y'all. That one that comes with the 3D glasses. And she married that man. And that man reaped all the benefits, y'all. But I was looking at Proverbs 31. And it began to discuss the virtuous woman. And it basically said that a virtuous woman is trusted by her husband and she trusts him, and that he could trust her to the point where she won't have to spoil, which means be scolded. He won't have to tell her anything. And then it also said that basically she's a hustler. She doesn't have a problem with seeking out wool and putting her hands to work. And I want to tell you guys, I know I'm up in age. I'm used to the man taking care of all the bills and doing everything. And that was the traditional way that I've always saw, like, my papa take care of things. He was a truck driver. I saw my stepfather hand over his whole paycheck and get him something to drink on a Friday. And my mom just pretty much paid all the bills and handled the phone calls and thus and so, even though my mom worked too. But the dynamic has changed. But based on the Bible, it says that it's not all about the man just taking care of everything and a woman just being taken care of. A virtuous woman is basically a woman with high standards and high morals. But she's not afraid to get her hands dirty. She's out there. She's in it to win it. And basically, she puts her hands to work. So if you have less than, and you might as well hang that whole idea of finding somebody with something more than you, because a lot of these men will weaponize what you don't have. They'll throw the carrot in your face and say, well, this could be you if you do what I tell you. And women do it too. Here this girl, she had low self-esteem. She was balling out of control. She knew the man had a record. She knew that he sold DVDs and didn't have a real job. And she threw the carrot in front of the horse like, well, if you be with me, you could watch TV on this 3D TV. And if you be with me, I'm going to step in and help you be the father that you couldn't be because your funds are low. So we could become a package deal. We could become a team. Oh, and if you be with me, I'm going to buy you your favorite jersey and I'm going to buy you season tickets. And he reaped all the benefits. But on the flip side of the coin, you have a lot of men out here that will say, well, I would marry you, eventually when I start being who I really need to be, and eventually we'll get married or it's always an excuse. And then they get the best of you because you're on your best behavior. You've been cooking, you've been cleaning, you've been doing wifely duties, hoping to be a pick-me, hoping to be chosen. And then before you know it, you've used up your youth, you're tired, you've had babies out of wedlock, you don't look the way you used to look, your body has gone through changes, and he doesn't want to marry you. He doesn't want to be with you, and you've pretty much wasted your life. But when you're a virtuous woman and you have high standards, can't nobody put no carrot in front of you and treat you like a horse and run you like a horse running a race and whoop you like a jockey. Can't nobody. Get it for yourself. And let me tell you something. The best thing to do is you could be self-sufficient, self-reliant. When somebody sees you working, they see your potential. They see that you're really about the action. They're going to be turned on. They're going to be drawn to that. They're going to get you somebody that can match your energy, y'all. Get you somebody that ain't trying to floss or make you feel less than. Don't you know I was dating this really, really nice looking guy, and I started to fall for him. Handsome as I don't know what. But guess what? when he saw that, boom, I'm working and I'm a hustler and I'm used to having things and I'm used to flying out and going on trips and wearing $400 perfumes and, you know, the finer things in life, thread count sheets. I mean, sleep is very important to me. Tempur-Pedic mattress, that ain't even top of the line to me. But when he saw how I was living and he saw that my standards were high, I began to see him instantly get on the defensive and tell me about what other people have, and it's so much better than mine, and like I need to step my game up because these people over here have this. And he basically had nothing but a million kids, a few baby mamas, and he couldn't even floss on me. But it let me know that if he did have something going for himself, he would try to weaponize what he had going to try to humble me because he was intimidated by me. And that is how I came to the conclusion that this gentleman, as fine as he was not the one for me. Y'all, please do not try to make a circle fit into a square space. Don't put no chewing gum on it to mold it. Don't grease the edges. Don't do nothing. If it don't fit, don't do it. If it's not, you already know. And I'm telling you right now, listen to that little voice. You could be laying next to the baddest. Okay? But deep down inside, you're going to know, I don't feel comfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable, y'all. Don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore your feelings. She could have the baddest body, didn't even need a BBL, run track, know how to cook. If she ain't meeting you spiritually, if morally she's not meeting you on your level, it's going to be unevenly yoked, y'all. The same for me. He was fine. He worked out every single day. He knew how to talk to me. He knew how to grab me. He knew how to touch me. He knew how to hold a decent conversation. We spoke about wanting to start 501c3 so we can help the homeless. He was a visionary. I mean, I just loved everything about him. But when he saw all that I had going on, and that I was a virtuous woman and my standards were high, instead of him being encouraged to want to be a better version of him, or even respectfully taking a break and saying, you know what, I thought I was where I should be or on my way to being where I want to be, but I'm not, and this is the girl for me. I'm going to take a break and I'm just going to go and get myself together. No. He began to buck up, and then he felt less than, and then he started to cheat on me and play me. And then when he couldn't when he couldn't win, he raped me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I knew before he had even gotten to that point, he was not the man for me. He was not supposed to, no matter how he looked, he could have looked like Method Man, and all my friends know how I felt about Method Man. He did not, we weren't spiritually compatible, y'all. We just weren't spiritually compatible, and that was time wasted. And even after he and I weren't together anymore and all of that transpired, it set me back years. And I was scared to go and get tested. And I just became so, I was just distraught. I had lost myself, y'all. If the person does not meet you not only spiritually, but morally, go ahead and take your time. If you're planning to be with that person forever. If you're dating with intention and you are looking to have your happily ever after, what is the rush? So I want to say, be a virtuous woman. Have high standards. I've been single for going on 3 years. And my mother, the other day, I felt so offended because she tells me, oh, the man across the street from me likes you. And he washes his car off every day. He goes to work every day. And y'all, this guy was big. He's sloppy. You could see the crack of his tail. The shorts were too big. And he just looked like he did not care about himself. And I was livid. And I said, Mom, when have you ever seen me with anybody that looked like that? When have you ever? And I was so offended. And I said, oh my God, am I getting to an age where my mom or my family is starting to look at me like, why are you still single? But listen, because I chose to be connected to God, because I chose to move in His time and allow Him to do the work in me. Our time is not God's time. And I had to get out of my flesh. And I had to say, you know what, Nicole? They are not on the level spiritually that you're on. So because they're not on the level that I'm on, guess what? They're not going to understand. I don't feel any pressure. As a matter of fact, I don't even feel like I'm to a point or to a place in life where I am ready to date. I don't feel as though I have to get used to this new me so that I don't get to a point where I make the same mistake that I did and ignore the red flags. And I have to seek counsel with the Lord before I make any decisions. I don't want to be the person that's always making excuses for the person that I have chosen to be with. Oh, he don't really like planes. Oh, he don't celebrate holidays. He don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, girl, he would have been here, but he had to work. Oh, he don't really like big. I don't want to be that person. Because I don't want to marry the wrong person that's not for me, but that's only for themselves. They want to sit there and they want to reap the benefits, but they don't like to do anything that you like to do. They don't want to go anywhere that you want to go. They don't want to open up and say, hey, let's try new things. That I've never tried this ramen bar. Let's try that. Let's try poke. Let's do this. Let's travel here. They just would rather sit on the couch and me be in a position like, oh, well, at least I have a pair of pants. Hell no. And I knew that man across the street from my mom's house was not for me. And I'm not to a point to where I'm so desperate that it's this musical chairs and I better grab a seat before the music stops. I am a firm believer that God has got my back and He will let me know when and what to do. But until then, I'm going to continue to do the work of the Lord. I'm going to continue to stay connected. I'm going to continue to fight the flesh and not indulge in the things of yesterday that had me bound. And I'm going to continue to be the virtuous woman, because that virtuous woman is going to outshine the person that I used to be. And that virtuous woman will be noticed by all, but only the right person is going to come to me, and I'm going to know for sure. Once I seek counsel with the Lord and say, God, is this the one? I'm going to be in a good position. I'm not going to be making no mistakes. I'm going to know that this is my person. And I'm at the point right now, y'all, that I've made so many mistakes in my life, that I've made so many exceptions in my life, that I've said, oh, he has potential. Oh, I don't like him. He likes me more. So let me see what this do. Maybe I can learn to like him. And I've made so many of those mistakes, and in the end still got played by an unattractive person that I knew I was not attracted to, that I knew was not good for me, and still got played, y'all, because I was in my flesh. I said, well, it don't work when you pick who you like, so how about I'll just pick who likes me? But I was never spiritual. I was in my flesh, and I still made the wrong decisions. And guess what? At the end of the day, I wasted time. I wasted their time. I wasted my time. I put myself at risk. I put my mental health at risk. I put my sexual health at risk. I put everything at risk because I wanted to be in my flesh, and I wanted to listen to everybody and say, well, I don't have a man, so let me just work with this. Let me see what this one do. Well, he likes me. He been liking me for a long time. Let me give him a chance. Instead of getting my spiritual life together, instead of connecting with the higher power and allowing God to do the work in me and being obedient and staying and cleaving to his word. And I'm to a point right now that I'm not doing it no more. And I don't care if God don't give me my husband at all. I don't care if he decides to give me my husband at 60 years old. As long as I am obedient and I am in the ushering of Christ Jesus, and I allow him to do the work in me, and I keep my panties up and my standards high, I'm going to be blessed regardless. So guys, read up on Proverbs 31. It's okay to be a virtuous woman. It's okay to not be a pick-me. It's okay to be about your Father's business. And once you know that you are connected in Christ Jesus, when that person that's connected in Christ Jesus too comes along, and you all go before the Father, and you guys go to counseling and find out that, yeah, I've had these humble beginnings. No one's perfect, but I allow God to do the work, and I'm healed, and I am filled with the Holy Spirit, and I am ready to take on the new chapter of marriage and this new partnership, so that we can grow and create generational wealth and promote health and love on each other. Until then, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do as an individual, and I'm not wasting no more time. And I encourage everybody on this live, or even if you're not on the live and you catch the rebroadcast, I'm encouraging you to do the same thing, because you don't want no illegitimate kids. You don't want no diseases that you can't get rid of, and you don't want nobody to make you or turn you insane by being jealous of you, busting out your windows, flattening your tires, showing up to your job because they know that they're not spiritually compatible with you. They're jealous and they feel like you're leaving them. You're beating them at the game or the race that they chose to run. And they know damn well that they are not the person for you. So they choose violence and they choose to hate on you, because it all stems from some sort of jealousy. And they know deep down inside they ain't got themselves together and they didn't do the work. Let God do the work on you and on them. Okay? Anyways, I'm Nikki St. Clair. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here. Please hit like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to talk to you later. Peace out.